Okay, we're going to try this again with Bryce and continue where we left off. All the pictures loaded. I think that was just something to do. I think it froze up, and then I ended up losing the first 45 minutes. So do that again. Okay, so here's Bryce. I love that you chose that one, as I said. This one's also beautiful, brilliant. And great job on that crop. That turned out amazing. And I really like this one too. Very colorful. I like the cloud interaction. And this one does look so much better without that big log. It looks like an arrow. You couldn't take your eyes off it. And there's such good stuff in there. This one I like too. And that one is just weirdly amazing. I mean, I'm not even sure what's happening there. Is that like some kind of harvest moon? Is that the sun coming up? No clue. But it's kind of crazy cool. This one is a nice composition, I think. Have I seen this before? Or have I just seen this location before? So that's a nice one too. Alright, and then this last one. I like it. I don't know if it's my favorite. Okay, so you're talking about your feedback. Nature photo walk. Okay, so I like that. Nature and livestock. But those cows, they were a problem, I guess. They did not want to be directed. And I think I already said about that one excellent cow photo could be your banner for your website. Okay, and that missing corner of the house, really good. Yes. Okay, all of that excellent remedies to just very minor problems, but it makes a big difference. Okay, let's look at your contact sheet, Bryce. Okay, first of all, thank you for keeping the original images in your contact sheet. You know I love that, so I can see the difference before and after without having to go search for things. And I like that one too. I don't know if I like that one as much as this one. Just because of the color combinations. And this one is, you know, it's got all these random branches. You might want to crop that one in closer. And I really did enjoy this image. I mean, that could be your purple image. Your inclusion of the purple. Okay, great edit on that one. And I think you are keeping the same aspect ratio. I appreciate that. Okay, this is also nice. I almost like this one better. I think I might like it better. Yeah, I think I do. I think it's more interesting. I think I would just kind of paint over that area with the road. I don't think it's really necessary. And yeah, like so if you use the color dropper, of course you gotta unlock your background, but if you use the color dropper over here in your toolbar and select this color and then select paintbrush, you can just kind of paint over that and it'll disappear and no one will ever know it was there. This little guy is adorable. He's in between bricks? He must be so tiny. I don't know, maybe, maybe you could do a little section animals in nature, or creatures in nature, so then you could include things like insects. I think I might crop that one just because of the composition of this one. I mean, it's not that I don't like it. I like the color of the moth and the color in between. I think that's great. But maybe just put one in between. That might break it up enough. I don't think I had seen that one before. Okay. This one, And that one, you must have increased the contrast on that quite a bit to make it really look like a dome. And I do like that one. Of the two, I like this one better. And this is nice, you know, kind of fading into the night. That could be your last image. This one I like, but I kind of feel like it goes with another category. It almost feels more like rural. I mean, not rural, but suburban. You know, we've got some man-made things here. It's not so much about just nature anymore. I already picked one of those. This might be nicer than the other we were talking about for the last image. Very pretty. And I definitely like that vertical one better. This is nice, but I don't know. I think we picked the one with the best purples. This is kind of nice, the way you frame that. I guess this is just a lens flare. I mean, the plants are interesting. I just don't know if it's as good as the others. Okay, so those are my suggestions to you. And I'll look forward to what you come up with for your final portfolio. Okay, talk to you soon, Bryce. Okay, so like I mentioned in Bryce's section there, I lost the first 45 minutes of the video. So I lost Astrid and Abby and Sydney, and to figure out who else along the way. Okay, so here's Astrid. I like this story. I think you should include it with that section. And I love the addition of her in these images. I do still think you should have a separate category of still life and then one with your OCs. Because, I mean, these aren't the only pictures you have. You have the ones with the hand, the one with the layered coasters like steps. So just those three would be enough to create a category. And I think you really want to highlight that. So we're going to take a look at your context sheet. I am missing your 10 favorites. So might want to add that in before next week, so I can see where you're going with that and see if, I don't want to give you any further feedback before you get to the final. So let's take a look at your context sheet. Here we go. Make this larger. So I think with last week's shoot, I believe we chose 3 that could be still life photography examples. And then I think we could probably get 3 more out of this shoot. Okay. That's the first image, is it? Nope. Okay. So I love this first image. I love the comparison of shapes and sizes, even though the colors are similar. I really like that comparison. Tall and short. They're both, plant-like. One more like a bud, one more like a lily. And these are almost like, more like a couple. But I think I like that first one the best, for sure. And a lot of these are similar, but there are more really good ones. And I do think that that dark shelf that you used was a great background. So that's another comparison, but I think I like the first one the best. I mean, that is a different viewpoint. I have to come back to that idea. Okay, I like this a lot because it's top down, so completely different perspective. I think I like this one better only because it's not touching the edges. Look back again. Okay, I did say this one, but I think this one is better. The best so far of that angle. Okay, now here we go with your OC characters. So before we get into that, let's pick a second one here. Yeah, I think you could choose between one of these. Like that one. Because it's just like overlapping. but it has some interest to it. Okay, so that could be your 3, if you agree. And then I like all 3 of these. The only thing I would change, and just a suggestion, this strong line here, I think if that weren't there, it would look more like this character is, you know, more physically there rather than added in. And I see it here as well. So you could use all 3 of those images, or, you know, you could have 2 of each character. That's up to you. You can include them all. I think they're all good. Okay, Astrid, I will just expect your 10 favorites then, and those should be edited, and hope to see those from you soon. Okay, so I did want to point out this great tip from Bryce about using candlelight. You could also consider using, you know, golden light from a window shining on your subjects. So that would be sunrise or sunset. Or even just a soft muted light can be really pretty too. So just ideas to change up the lighting. Okay, coming back to Sydney. Sydney was the first one to post, and she's got such a great post here. I'm so glad that you went first. It was a really good example for everybody else. Okay, so you're thinking about your style, and you like the nature shots more than anything. And I agree, and I'm so surprised you have 2 different lenses. How awesome is that? I do too, but, you know, I kind of get a little bit lazy about changing them out. Just because I mostly shoot portraits. But so that's how you were able to get those butterflies and bumblebees without getting too close to them. Super smart! And, yeah, I can tell that this is a place where you grew up. You know it so well. And that's so funny that your dad didn't even know. You got him in that awesome photo. So I would do a nature, and I would do portraits separately. You could call it family portraits and include both, you know, your baby and your dog. And I do want you to try shooting with ISO 100 and then adjust your other images, your other settings, your shutter speed and your aperture or f-number to get what you want rather than counting on ISO. And that is for reasons of printing. You know, say you sell some prints, and I think that's actually a really good idea for you to have prints for sale because you've got some really awesome photos here. So if you print out, like say that this is an 8:12 aspect ratio, you could blow it up as big as, 16:24, or, you can go even bigger. But if you're using that high ISO, you're going to want to keep it smaller so we don't get any pixelation or blur. So we'll come back to your contact sheet. And I definitely love all of your portraits. This one, I wonder if you've cropped it down because it's a completely different aspect ratio. You see this is a square, this is a rectangle. So what you can do is go to the one that you didn't crop and go into Photoshop, go to image, image size, and find out what the exact size is, and then you can set your crop tool to that same size. So if this one, you know, if you already cropped it, which it appears that you have, go back to the original and then crop, or not. And this one too, it appears it's been cropped a little. This one looks good. This one also maybe a little. Just, you know, once you've got your crop tool set to that same aspect ratio, you can go in there and play and crop it, and they'll all be matching and cohesive. Okay, so this is, you know, my favorite photo. I love that it's complementary colors, you know, red and green, but you also have like a triad with the red-violet, blue-green, yellow-green. It's just, I adore it. I want a print of that myself. And this one's also pretty. I think you're trying to do like maybe the best example of each color flower. And I think that we could go into your contact sheet and maybe look a little closer at that. This one by far would be a seller. This looks like a little crown of flowers. I like this one too. This one I'm not sure about. I like this one too, but I think you'd have to choose between that one and the crown. Like this one. This one may be cut in a little too close. It's very abstract, but the color's really strong. I think you could actually get a better composition out of that one. And this one is like almost just completely, you know, it's abstract because you start to see shapes in it. All right, let's go take a look at your contact sheet. Okay, so there's your superstar. I like that one. And you know, I kind of like this one. Of your white flowers, I might, if you have the raw file, and I think you do, try and increase the whites a little bit. The whites are the highlights and the clarity, so you don't lose that detail. And don't go too far. You know, you don't want to obliterate all this beautiful texture. But I think that that would be worth a try. That one, I don't think so. And this one. I do like that one a lot. There's your crown. This one's really nice too. Definitely that one. And yeah, a lot of nice ones. This one I would say I don't think so. And I love this one, so you have to choose. I think I'm more into this one of the two. And I'm glad you didn't include those. They're just, you know, it's beautiful, but it's just too different than the rest. And then we got to get that original aspect ratio on that photo of your dad. That one almost looks like she's throwing the flowers up in the air. But that is super cute. This one, that expression, oh my gosh. Must keep. And this one, you know, would work with the family portrait idea. That one must keep. This one, you know, I like it, but I don't know if it's the best. It feels a little bit overexposed to me. I like that one. Ooh, big century plant. You know, this one might be cool if you abstracted a little, you know, went in a little closer. And just move that crop window around until you see something really exciting. And this one, I think I would go back to the original or even reshoot and see if you can get, you know, more interesting composition. See a poor little pup that never got any light. Okay, that one is... This one I'd like you to try cropping. I would keep this in part of the road and maybe just go like that. And that one definitely keep. I love how you brought out all that detail in the fur. And this one needs a little help with recropping. And there you got a little creature there. I think that's a skink. Okay, got a little bit of work to do, but not too much. Okay, I did miss one. I really like this photo. I love the blur. I love the clarity of the pink. You might need to choose between this one and the other one that's white with pink, but I do love it. Hey, Abby. I'm really impressed by what you've accomplished this week by moving forward with this idea and taking it to a new level. I'm glad you feel comfortable. And yeah, that variety of lighting. I mean, sunshine is summer, right? So yeah, you've got to move fast with that sunset. I know, it just pops. And it feels like seconds. Thank you. Okay, yes, those screen room bars. Okay, so this is an exciting collection. And I just love this. I love, you know, this swoop, this blur of motion. And that was probably you moving quickly with your camera. And, you know, you've got these rays of light and this gold, gold, gold. Beautiful. I like this one too, but I think I would actually go in there. And I don't know if this has already been cropped. If it hasn't, go start with the original. And I would like to see what happens if we remove this. You know, you would just put your crop window, make it a little smaller, and then go to the corner until you see a little curved line with arrows, and just turn it a little bit. and just rotate it a little bit. See what happens. See how that works for you. This image is like kind of astounding. I'm going to focus closer in on it in Photoshop because I'm really interested what's happening in here. And these little, I mean, they're like crystal beads, the water droplets, so smart. And then, you know, these lines start to feel like trees, you know, reflections in the water of, you know, trees or something that's growing under the water. So great job there. This one is very good. And that is an amazing shell. Look at all these little highlights. Highlights and shadows. And wow, I wonder, you know, what happened? Is this like a marriage of two beasts? Like a conch shell with something else going on here? Like a spider. I never saw one of those. And this is so funny to me because it looks like a little creature that's gonna eat the other creature. Great, great lines again. Amazing. This one I like a lot too. I like the two together. That's a toughie. This one looks even more like trees. I don't know how I feel about these being cut off, but it's still very good. And then your shells start to look like couples, you know, having conversations, hanging out. This one has a great background. If you have cropped this one, I think I would straighten it. If at all possible, but I would hate to lose that yellow. This is interesting with the reflection, but I don't know that it's my favorite. Okay, let's take a quick look at your contact sheet. You got some good feedback too. Okay, you can pause there. Okay, so just because I've done this one a little earlier, and it just didn't work out. I think what I want to do is scroll down to the ones that we haven't talked about yet. The new additions. So I think that these were all from last week. Okay, let me just check. That's why I had it down there, so I could scroll. Yep, I believe we've seen those before. Okay, so this is the one that I want to look at really close, but as a single so we can see it more clearly. This one is interesting too. I like the patterns compared with the other patterns. It's almost like it's on a diving board. This one might be the answer to all of our problems. But you know, we don't see enough of the pond, I think. And then this line bothers me a little. Like that line would have to go. But it's still very nice. I think the close-up, this one, is better. And between those two, I like seeing all of this shadow. That is magnificent. talked about that one. So cute. And that one. I don't think I saw that one yet. Such an interesting character. Those two, I love that one. But I think I would pick one of these with On the Edge with the bubbles. And for me, this is funny, especially if you give these titles, you know, their own titles. It could be really entertaining. I think we picked our best one of that. Oh, we've got a trio. Another contender. We talked about that one. Possible, maybe. Okay, and I think that's the very end. Now let me just open up. Let's see, I gotta get over here. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna look at this one really close. That is just brilliant clarity. Look at the texture on the book. Texture on the towel. Super clear. And you see how those little water droplets, they look like little rainbow beads. Okay, that is beautiful. And I like the little pair of Adirondack chairs. This looks like, all I can guess is it's a bended knee. And that is possible. I do not know what's going on there. But great, great, great photo. Love, love, love it. Yep, those water droplets are to die for. Okay, let's pause there before we go to the next person. I hope that's enough information for you to move forward. Okay, before we get to Lauren's this week, I want to take a look at last week. Hold on just one moment. Okay, so I figured out what happened in the other video. I started it for everybody, and then somehow I lost the first 45 minutes, which would have been Sydney and Astrid and Abby. So I redid those, and so the other video, it's like the very tail end of Abby, and then it jumps right to Lauren. Okay, so we're done with Lauren, and hopefully I didn't miss anybody else. If I did, I'll make sure to check into that and get back to you all soon. Remember, next week you're going to be reviewing your feedback for this week, and if I asked you to turn in some extra things, please do that for me ASAP so I can give you feedback before you put it onto your website. Okay, good night everybody. Have a great night.